Hi, I am Yuki, and today I will be your storyteller. Make yourself comfortable and we'll get right on it. Chapter 1. Wu-Chun. A guy who got trapped in a day and has been living in a day for 1,000 years. At first he finds it fun and interesting and started spending anyhow he likes and does whatever he wants. But he got frustrated at a point as time will reset and everything he has work for will be no more when the day starts over. He decided to kill himself, but he always wake up to the same day. After several attempts which proved abortive, he decided to go into gambling and all such of criminal activities just to catch some fun. Getting stuck on a day has become a game to him. He worries less about the consequences of his actions as the day would reset and everything would go back to normal. Wu-Chun was narrating how has been stuck on a day to a lady he met at a club. He told her about his ability to understand thousands of languages and how his hacking skills has been the best. The lady finds the story difficult to believe, and she thought Wu-Chun had just invented the story just to woo her. Eventually, Wu-Chun hit on the lady as a normal way of catching fun because he knows if anything happens between them, it won't matter because the day will reset. The lady saw him as a weird being and chatted with her friend to come to the place so she could help her escape from the situation. Wu-Chun told the lady her friend won't come because her ex-boyfriend came back to her and she will stay with him. The lady told Wu-Chun he was saying nonsense because it is not possible for him to know if her friend will come or not. To confirm his statement, Wu-Chun told her her friend will call her in the next 9 minutes and 13 seconds, but the lady could hardly believe him and told him he would be in trouble. If she does not call, not longer after, a group of bad guys walked into place. One of the guys walked up to the lady and said the lady offended him, and he would forgive her only if she would have a drink with them. The lady tried to fight back, but her strength was nothing compared to that of the guy. Wu-Chun interfered and told the bad guy to come to him, which made him angry, and threw the cigarette he was smoking at him, but it did not hit him. The guy who threw the cigarette tried to give him a punch on the face, but he dodged it. The guy ends up falling on the ground instead of him. Suddenly, the leader of the bad guys entered and asked how dare he touch his man. Wu-Chun asked a question. Is this how Zhao taught his younger brother? He didn't ask anyone in particular, but the leader of the bad guys was surprised and asked how he knew his brother. Wu-Chun put a call through to Zhao and told him his brother is doing some bad stuff. Zhao did not know who he was talking to or how he got his number. He also talked about the May meeting, which Zhao and his gang do attend. Zhao was surprised he also knows about the May meeting. Zhao was told to warn his guys from misbehaving, which he promised to do. Zhao and his team apologize for their actions and promise such won't happen again. They then went their way. The lady was shocked as Wu-Chun was different from the kind of guy she used to know. Shortly after, the lady's friend called exactly the time Wu-Chun has predicted and gave her the same excuse, that her ex-boyfriend came back and she won't be able to come. The lady find it hard to believe Wu-Chun asked her to follow him to confirm it truly time reset, or he was lying just trying to woo her. On getting outside, the Wu-Chun entered a car, and the lady asked if the car was his. But his answer was that it was someone else's car, and it does not matter if he stole someone else's car, since the car would be back once the time reset again. The lady wanted to follow him, but he rejected her because he doesn't have interest in ladies who use too much makeup, and she was forced to clean it. Wu-Chun woke up as usual to live in a reset day as he used to. He thought to himself, "It is another day in which I have been living and the pretty lady is gone. Everything has gone back again." But to his surprise, he saw the lady standing in front of him asking him why time has not been reset. She asked him to explain why the date was 8th of July, 2020, if truly time resets. He was confused and surprised at the same time about why time has not been reset, since he has been living like that over and over again. Chapter 2. Wu-Chun was happy he was finally free from the time and space prank. While in the shower, jubilating his freedom, he remembered how the time reset started. He was a host, and he passed a millennium test, so the time reincarnation system started working. Because of the system, his attributes are unique. His strength was 7, speed was 9, his stamina was 8, mental strength was 10158, and his time limit was 365,000. Also, because of the system, he has the ability to speak English L9, French L9. He is also very good at playing piano L9, and also his fighting skill is excellent. He can choose to lock and reset the current time through the system. He was warned to only reset the day once a day to avoid problems, as the time quota will be depleted. Chen was just an ordinary student with no skill before the reincarnation, but now has high-level abilities, and would be able to use his skill now that he understands how the system works and time is normal. As he came out of the shower, suddenly he heard a loud bang on the door. It was the gang of the person whom he stole his car. He stole Wang's car. Wang is a very famous in the underworld, and he always overcome those above him. His parents were beaten and disabled by social worker hired a third party, and he hacked those people to pieces in his anger, which was why he was sentenced to 3 years imprisonment, and after his release from prison, he started to work in the street and made a name for himself with his high intelligence. Chen stole his car without thinking about the danger because he thought the time will reset, and now he was in panic as the time could not reset and everything has turned back to normal. He has too big issue to settle because he also borrowed Li Gongzi's name a day before. He decided to settle the situation by starting the time over because he now understand how it works and now have control over time. He was living in a time reset before as he could not control it, but he was able to control time for the first time on the 8th of July, 2020, making the time to start from 0:01 a.m. so he would escape before Wang's guys came looking for him. The lady with him was confused and could not get to understand how that happened. He told the lady to dress up so they can leave before the guys come. The lady was disappointed that he was eager to get rid of her and told him if he knew who she was, he would be begging her to save him. And the guy replied her, he does not have any reason to beg her as he knew a woman with a lot of heart who can fix the situation. But the girl could not understand what he meant by that. Chapter 3. Chen was being chased by Wang's guys who are trying to collect their boss car and also catch and punish the person who dare to try such with their boss. But to him, the whole situation looks interesting, and he finds it fun because he can now control and make use of his skills. While driving and escaping from the guys, he made a call to a lady, CEO Li Ruobing, and told her a traitor is working at her side and will make her lose the bet. CEO Li Ruobing asked who he was and how he get to know about the bet, but he simply told her he have his own source of information and can tell her more about her little brother. He told her to send someone to come and pick him up half an hour at her company entrance to be able to discuss better. While he got engaged in the call, Wang guys were able to surround his car, yet he was calm because of his proficiency in driving. He easily shook them off by drifting and drove very fast to avoid getting caught. After a while, they arrive at the lady house without asking her for her home address. She was surprised and asked how he got to know where she stays, and also asked how he learnt his driving skill. Chen did not reply but soliloquized to himself about how he risked his life to learn driving and also died several times. The lady asked Chen for his contact, but he zoomed off. Without giving her his contact, the lady concluded she would get to him through her friend, as there was no way he could know her house unless he was arranged by her friend. CEO Li Ruobing was a star entrepreneur in Donghai City, but her background is very complicated. She has a little brother known as Young Master Li who can do things at his own will. Chen was taken to CEO Li Ruobing's office and was seen to be a 22-year-old man who graduated from the accountant course of Donghai University. His father's name is Wu Dahai, while his mother's name is Zhang Shu Tuan, and they both run a small restaurant. Based on the information CEO Li Ruobing got about Chen, she also knows he has a little sister in Wuchao High School. Chen was not surprised as he already expected CEO Li Ruobing to find out so much information about him with just a call, since she was known to be an amazing woman. Chen made it known to her that he knows she is worried about the traitor lurking beside her, and he will tell her who the person is if she can pay him a sum of $10 million. CEO Li Ruobing brought out a gun and pointed at him. With how smart she is, a stranger cannot just come into her office and ask her to pay $10 million, and she will just agree to it. She threatened him that he would not leave the office alive without providing an information she is satisfied with. Chen told her he knew that she will actually shoot, and he asked her if it's possible for her to shoot him dead without a bullet. Chapter 4. CEO Li Ruo-bing was confused about what he said, and then she discovered there was no more bullet magazine in her pistol. She wondered how he removed the bullet since she left her pistol under the table. She started thinking of a possible way that can be done. Chen told her to stop being confused, as he has explained to her before that he was an intelligent businessman and how he removes the magazine, bullet, is part of his intelligence. Chen told CEO Li Ruo-bing to trust his ability to gather information as he came to her office just to gather money and not to cause any harm. He actually went to CEO Li Ruo-bing's office with another motive, but he had to play his game well by asking for money in return for information, because he knows CEO Li Ruo-bing to be a very smart woman and he needed to do something in other to lower her psychological defenses. CEO Li Ruo-bing asked him to tell her more about the things he knew, which he did by telling her all her background story. CEO Li Ruo-bing is the eldest daughter of the Li family, but she was treated differently as a girl. She wanted to fight back, to prove to anyone that women can be stronger than men, but despite all that she did, she could not escape the curse of being her brother's shadow. Her mother has always been there for her those times until things change after she divorced her father and left. CEO Li Ruo-bing's mother started to go out with other men and became a pain in the butt. It got worse to the point that she threatened to kill CEO Li Ruo-bing if she does not marry Ding Ruilong. Things were not turning out good, and CEO Li Ruo-bing wanted to run away and resist their marriage by fleeing. But she could not get away because she was always worried about her mother. She had a change of plan. Instead of fleeing, she decided to have 3 fake boyfriends in order to make Ding Ruilong die, but they all end up worse than one another. The first game boyfriend committed suicide, the second was sent to a mental hospital, and the third was framed and imprisoned with a high probability of not getting out for the rest of his life. Ding Ruilong is a very careful person. He was behind everything that happened to the fake boyfriends, and after doing something to them, he would spread the news, so no man would get close to CEO Li Ruo-bing. CEO Li Ruo-bing's plans were all abortive, and she needed a way to escape the fate of marriage, so she made a secret bet with Ding Ruilong. The bet is to open a new business. Anyone whose business gets bigger after 5 years wins the bet. Because Ding Ruilong wanted to win the bet so badly, he makes someone from CEO Li Ruo-bing's side his spy and planned to ruin everything for her on the day of the launch. After saying all this, Chen asked CEO Li Ruo-bing if he should keep talking to show her he really knew everything going on. CEO Li Ruo-bing signed the check of $10 million and asked him to tell her who the traitor is. Chen promised to tell her who the person is, but before he could open his mouth to talk, Senior Assistant Feng Yang came into CEO Li Ruo-bing's office and asked her to sign a document. Chen held Senior Feng Yang and told CEO Li Ruo-bing that the traitor he was talking about was Senior Assistant Feng Yang. On the other hand, feigned ignorance when Chen asked him about the $5 million in this Swiss bank account. When Chen saw that he is not ready to talk, he took Senior Assistant Feng Yang's phone and called Ding Ruilong's number. On picking up, Ding Ruilong, unaware that Senior Assistant Feng Yang was caught, asked if he has gotten the information. Now that CEO Li Ruo-bing has seen evidence, she was enraged as Senior Assistant Feng Yang has been with her for so many years, and she never thought Senior Assistant Feng Yang could backstab her for just $5 million. During the time they have spent together, Senior Assistant Feng Yang has made a lot of money, both explicitly and implicitly, which CEO Li Ruo-bing did not take to heart because of how long they have been. Senior Assistant Feng Yang confessed he made a deal with Ding Ruilong, and he gave him money in return, but he would like to say something which CEO Li Ruo-bing was not aware of. He told her mother did not want her to marry Ding Ruilong and make her a sacrificial lamb like she was, but she was pressured to do so by her father, CEO Li Ruo-bing's grandfather. Senior Assistant Feng Yang was immediately countered by Chen, as he told CEO Li Ruo-bing not to believe what he was saying, as it was Ding Ruilong who asked him to say that because he knows her mother is her weak point. Senior Assistant Feng Yang was asked to the office by CEO Li Ruobing, which surprised Wu Chun because he thought she was going to kill him for betraying her. Senior Assistant Feng Yang would eventually be killed, but not by the CEO herself. He would be sunk in the cement at the bottom of the river that night. CEO Li Ruobing could still not wrap her head around everything happening, starting from a mysterious man who came into her office and knows so much information about her, her background, things going on in her office, and even catch a traitor in her office. She could not help but be suspicious of Wu Chun's identity and concluded in her mind that he was probably sent by Ding Ruilong, and Senior Assistant Feng Yang was a pawn that Ding Ruilong discarded in order to make her trust Wu Chun. Seeing that she was still suspicious of him, he told her he has a way to clarify her questions and doubts, and that way is by being her fake boyfriend. That way he would be able to clear her doubt and also prove his own innocence. We will continue this story soon. In the meanwhile, you can choose from this exciting stories. See you there!